go. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Just drop that ass, bitches, open micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that open micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head, Jayckoub looking inbred. Open micers, bitch, heard what I said. Drop that ass, open micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy, open micers in the house. Open micers in the house, open micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy, open micers in the house. The mic is now open.
That's right. The mic is now open. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jayckoub Craig, and I'm eating a cannoli.
Jayckoub, this is God. Put down the cannoli.
No, you can't make me. I don't even believe in you. Dude, what would it take for you to have like inconceivable proof that there is a God? Like God is speaking to you. Like if God even spoke directly to you, would you believe it?
Well, you got to ask if you're hearing voices because you're crazy.
Yeah.
Or if it's actually God himself. So how many people throughout history that claim to have spoken to God was actually just, schizophrenic?
Yeah, dude. Joan of Arc was just like a crazy goth bitch who got tired of cutting herself and decided to free France.
Yeah. Who was it
That's what Joan of Arc was.
Who was in the Bible that God told him to kill his son? Was it Isaac or something? Kill his son Isaac. Who was that?
Well, if you think about it, technically, God told the Romans to kill his son because God created everybody. So
That's true.
And technically they're his sons too. There's a lot of plot holes, Jason. Like if they put on Netflix, it was like the Bible part one. One part of the epic new miniseries. Like no one would fucking believe it. They'd be like, "This is horribly written."
Well, it's there's so many plot holes, like you said. It's like God sent himself down to earth, like impregnated a human woman with himself, so that he could sacrifice himself to save himself for the people that he was sent there to, because he made people shitty. So he sent himself to sacrifice himself for them to himself to save them for being shitty.
Yeah. It's very gaslighty. It's very 16-year-old girl vibes.
I mean, the original Blade Runner had an easier plot to follow than that.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I feel like if God talked to me directly, I would just be like, this is it. I've lost my freaking marbles, especially if he's telling me to put down a cannoli.
Yeah.
Although that would be a dead giveaway because I'd be like, no part of my subconscious would tell me to put down this cannoli. No fucking ounce of my being would tell me, Jayckoub, don't eat that sweetened cheese and chocolate Danish. Don't you fucking dare. It would have to be divine intervention.
Well, if you heard that and you hear, Jayckoub, this is God. If you eat one more cannoli, your heart is going to explode and you will die. You can never have another cannoli as long as you live.
Well, God, I won't be living much longer anyways, because you said I'm going to eat one cannoli and I'm going to die. So I will see you soon, buddy.
If you eat that cannoli, it will be the last thing you ever eat.
That's the way I want it. I can think of no better way to die.
Hold on, I have to go impregnate a human woman with myself to save myself from them who I'm trying to save from me.
I wish I had reverb, but I'd be like, hold on, I have to go win a football game.
When do we get a sequel to the Bible? I mean, it's been 2,000 years. You'd think we'd have a sequel by now.
Probably after the next great flood.
Which is probably going to happen soon.
Yeah, not in your lifetime, but in mine.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be dead. That's why I'm not worried about global warming anymore. I'm just like, I'll be dead before anything else bad happens.
Yeah, if I keep eating cannolis, then I'm going to be not far behind you, buddy.
Yeah, let's just leave this dust bowl and be done with it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I wouldn't want to exist after the Great Flood anyways, because think about how long it would take to get back to cannolis again.
Yeah, no
Like how many
kidding.
fucking years I'd have to wait.
Yeah, because if all the smart people die that know how to like run electricity and shit, I mean, what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
It's not
that's
like
like
I know
this.
how to. It's not like I know how to run an electricity factory.
Yeah, it's like the Assassin's Creed 3 dilemma, right? Where like at the end of Assassin's Creed 3, Desmond gets to pick if he's going to let these divine beings or whatever completely destroy the world, but let him and his like friends survive and start the world over again, like a Bible situation,
Yeah.
or if he will die and the world just keeps on going like it is. And he's pretty much just like, I don't want to fucking deal with any of those problems.
I've
I
actually
will
thought a
die.
lot about this. Like, what if the world did end and it was sort of like, like The Walking Dead, like the zombie takeover, or hell, even if
Yeah.
like if COVID had been like The Stand by Stephen King, where like 99% of people of the earth was just wiped out. Like, how crappy would that be? Like, how would you have a survival instinct like the people in The Walking Dead, to where you just fight every day to survive like that? Plus, there's like no air conditioning or anything. Everybody stinks. Like, oh, it'd just be awful.
That's what would get me, brother. I would get so hot so fast. I
Yeah,
would just
no
be like,
kidding.
take me out.
It's like I was actually asking my mom and dad the other day. I was like, how did you guys live in the South here as kids without air conditioning? Like, how did people live down here? Because it's not even June yet. And, like, I just have constant swamp ass just all day long.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, we could only afford to run the AC units at like certain parts of the day. So we would just be sitting there, like I would be in my underwear,
Uh,
just shamelessly,
yeah.
just walking around in tidy whities. And I remember like looking around and just being like, oh, the house is sweating again. It got so fucking hot
Ugh.
that water, like actual like humidity, puddled up on our fucking roof and dripped down the walls.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude. We were basically like baking ourselves. We might as well just got in the hot car and just fucking sat there.
It's just
We
so.
were baking ourselves like little
Uh,
chickens.
like, my mom said they took a lot of baths and showers when she was a kid because it was so freaking hot. Like, because all you could do, they had ceiling fans, but all they could do was like turn the ceiling fans on and open the windows. And if you've never been to the deep South here, like if you're a listener and you're like from up north and like you think like 85 is a heat wave,
Oh,
85 is like a nice winter day down here. Because if once it gets up above like 100 degrees and it's like 70% humidity, you just want to die. Like, that's all. You don't want to live anymore.
yeah. Do you remember the record it was that one summer we had where we broke like a world record for heat or some shit like that? Wasn't it like 120 degrees?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so we broke like a record or some shit because it was 120 degrees one day, one summer, with a ridiculous humidity. And I don't know if you know this, Jason, but there is a certain heat to where the human body cannot survive. And that temperature is 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The human body is not supposed to be able to withstand 120 degrees
mhm.
Fahrenheit. And that's what fucking outside has.
And I don't remember it ever being this hot. I mean, I remember it being hot when I was a kid, but this is like ridiculous hot. That's why I believe in global warming or climate change, whatever you want to call it these days. This is not normal. The weather we're having is not normal.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we really need to stop the war in freaking Israel because they're not focusing on the weather hard enough.
Yeah.
They need to fucking cool it off, brother.
Yeah, get some of
Cease fire.
those Jewish space lasers and the weather machines. Crank those bad boys up and get some cold air blowing over here.
Now, see, normally I'm an America First type of person, but send them like millions in dollars of tanks and see if they'll like bring it down like 5 degrees for
Yeah,
us.
that's all we need. Just like 5, 10 degrees, bring it down, we'll be good.
No, but you're right, dude. Like, and I remember when I was a kid, in an effort to save power in the deep south of Mississippi. This is how fucking bonkers my parents are, Jason. My mom would be in the middle of cooking supper. So there's a hot oven going on, a double wide trailer. It's like 85, 90 degrees outside, and the thermostat would be set to 80
That's insane.
because she would be like, we'll just open the door and the windows because
Ugh.
we can't afford to run the AC. And I'm like, lady, it's 85 degrees outside. What fucking cool air do you think we're going to get in here?
None.
There's no wind at all.
See, and that's the worst part about living on the Gulf Coast here. You would think we would have a nice sea breeze, but for some reason, and I have a theory that there is some invisible wall created by Highway 90 that you can literally go down to the beach. You can stand on the beach and it's like, oh man, the wind will almost knock you over. But you go above Highway 90, nothing. It's still. It's like there's no wind whatsoever. I don't know what phenomenon that is, but it's real.
Yeah. No, I mean, you make a good point. Yeah. I mean, you would just be like standing out in your yard at a family gathering or whatever, and you don't realize how hot you are until you catch like a wayward gust of wind. And you're like, oh shit, I'm fucking sweating.
Yeah, it's pretty gross down here in the summer in my apartment. Like this time of the day, I hate doing the podcasts at this time of the year because, like, for real, it's 6:30 in the evening. It should be nice and cool, but the sun is like directly outside this wall behind me. So like half of the apartment is just radiating heat until the sun goes down. And this time of the year, the fucking sun doesn't go down till midnight. So I'm like, I fucking go to bed, the sun is up. I wake up in the morning, the goddamn sun is up. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's fucking insane, dude. I've been trying to put my daughter to bed. We try to get her in bed by like 7 o'clock, and we have to fight her for like 2 hours because she's like, it's not bedtime, it's light outside.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking dumb. I go to bed when it's dark. And she's not wrong. She's kind of not wrong.
And that's why I think these people that love summertime are just insane. You people are insane. It's like, I love it when it's 120 degrees outside with 85% humidity and the sun stays up until midnight. I love it. Like, what is wrong with you? Are you just mental? Like, what is happening with these people?
I feel like those are the same people who use the term hot girl summer. And it's hard to have a hot girl summer when you smell that musty because it's 100 fucking degrees outside.
Dude, I got so jealous this morning. My brother sent me some pictures. They're on vacation. They're taking a cruise. Well, no, they're in Alaska right now. They're taking like a cruise or something up there. And he sent me a picture, and him and my sister-in-law are wearing big parka type jackets, and there's snow everywhere. I'm just like, oh my God, I want to move there right now. Like, just move me to like northern Alaska where they get like 6 weeks of sun out of the year, and then it's just dark the rest of the year. Just let me live there. I would be so happy.
I could never live there because of the movie 30 Days of Night.
I don't care. I'll deal with the vampires. Just it's better than dealing with the fucking summertime people here in the South. Like
Dude,
I love the summertime. It's awesome, and I hate it when the sun goes down early. Like fuck you. I love it when the sun goes down at like 4 in the afternoon. I'm like, yes, it's fucking nighttime. Let's go.
Dude, it's so hot in Mississippi, we would rather fight vampires than deal with this fucking heat. I would rather be in a Josh Hartnett fucking horror movie than to deal with this heat.
I got to write that down for the notes so I won't forget.
It's ridiculous, man. And like, if you go back to the history of this podcast, like, look at every episode we've done from this time of year, like, from the past years. Like, you'll see me with my glasses fogged up, just in the thumbnail, glasses fogged up, backwards hat on, just dripping fucking sweat,
Uh-huh.
like, because I was living, like, luckily
Well, see,
now that we're in this apartment, we
see,
have central air. Every year before now, I was in my parents' house where I couldn't run the window unit because it was too noisy. Just baking back there, dude. Just dripping sweat onto my fucking
see,
microphone,
I used to be
talking
the
to the
same way.
drummer of Jane's Addiction.
I see. I used to be the same way because I had the same microphone you have, that condenser mic. Which I love the mic. The Blue Yeti mic is great, but the thing is that microphone picks up. It can hear a fly farting like from like half a mile away. So you got to turn everything off. This microphone I have here, this brand new Rode mic I got. Like, I have the air conditioning on. There's a fan on. It feels nice in here, and you can't hear it. So it's awesome. Like, I can actually podcast in somewhat comfort, except for the heat radiating off the wall behind me. I'm actually in relative comfort right now.
Yeah, see, pump your brakes there, buddy, because we're not sponsored by Rogue Mics.
Well, we should be, so we can get a second mic. All you got to do, Rode, if you want to sponsor the pod, just send us one mic. That's all we need.
That's too much money for them. We don't have enough reach to even afford a free Rode mic, dude. Come on now. This is so depressing to me. I'm friends with this comic on Facebook who I've noticed, like, I'm not really in tune with like kind of who he is or his podcast or whatever, but I noticed that his podcast is like sponsors or puts on a new faces showcase at the Stardome Comedy Club, and he has like less than 100 episodes. And I'm like, dude, we've been doing this for 4 fucking years, and we can't get a bar open mic. What the fuck are we doing wrong? You can get a new faces showcase at an actual comedy club, but we can't get a fucking open mic at any shitty bar on the entire Gulf Coast.
We're hated. I don't know what to tell you. We're hated.
I don't know, man. I don't know why. I don't get it. I talk some shit sometimes, but like, I'm relatively friendly to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's done our podcast.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not help a brother out, man?
I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had the answer to that.
I don't know. That's so crazy to me. But then I guess that's like, comparing it to like any podcast that's been going not as long as yours and expecting the same success. Like, we would be I'm very ashamed of ourselves if that's how we measured it. Because like Dan Soder's podcast is one of the top podcasts on Apple, and he has like 20 episodes.
Well, we hit the top spot on Apple like once.
We didn't hit the top spot. We got the top 100, but it's something.
Yeah, I've been researching because there's things you can do to get yourself noticed on Apple, and I try to do it where you fill out these things where you can you send a message into Apple, like you put your podcast information into this thing for Apple, and it picks it's almost like a lottery where you get picked and you get featured on the front page. And I've done it like 100 times and we've never gotten picked. I guess that's what happens because I don't know. I guess it must be for newer podcasts. I don't know, because like newer podcasts will be up there on the featured thing and be like their first episode and they'll be featured, but us, we're like 200 and something episodes 4 years in. And it's like, these fuckers already have their followers. We're not going to feature them.
Yeah, I wish I understood the science of like why we got on the Apple Top 100 like one time. Because when that happened, like I looked at the guests and we had a really good month, but like no one groundbreaking, I don't guess.
It's just
And
the algorithm. I don't know. I don't understand like the algorithm of anything
yeah.
anymore. I just don't get it.
And what's hilarious is that we never even knew. This
Yeah.
happened in 2021.
We didn't know till like a year later.
We didn't know until recently when I looked at Chartable, and it's
Yeah.
like your only chart history, because when you use Spotify for podcasters, it only shows you shit for Spotify. It doesn't show you anything for Apple. So it's like, oh, the only chart history we have for you is when you actually charted in the top 100 on Apple. We're like, we
Yeah,
did fucking what?
I wish I would have known about Acast a long time before Spotify for podcasters, because Spotify for podcasters, it was great at the time, but knowing what I know now, I would have never gone with them for our hosting.
Think about how much money we lost.
Yeah.
A, using Spotify for podcasters when that happened, and B, not being eligible for monetization through Spotify with podcasters when that happened. And we had enough listeners where we charted 60th on the fucking Apple charts. Think about how much money we fucking lost, dude.
I know. How many sponsors did we lose because Spotify didn't tell us that we were even on? Like they don't tell you anything if you're a podcaster and you're out there listening and you're on Spotify for podcasters, you're not getting like 75% of your information on Spotify. They don't tell you anything outside of Spotify. I know this is probably boring for people that don't have podcasts, but there's a lot of crap that goes on. When you have a podcast, you got to think about all this stuff and really research who you're hosting through, because Spotify will screw you over hardcore.
Yeah, which everyone has a podcast now anyways. Like the only people that listen to podcasts are people who have podcasts.
Yeah. That's probably why we don't get any new listeners. We're just getting failed podcasters listening to the show.
Yeah, they're like, I could have done that.
Yeah,
that's gonna be us really soon. We're gonna listen to other, like, the next comedy podcast that happens out here. Like, oh, I know that guy. I could have done that.
We're gonna end this show and just start listening to other comedy podcasts and be like, hey, we did it better.
Yeah, that's the ultimate like meta moment of when you quit doing everything and then you leave angry comments on everything. Like that's what kills me about comedy, because most people are like, I'm better than that. I'm not getting this. Well, everyone also thought you quit comedy 2 years ago.
Yeah,
like you're not getting anything because you quit. like actually try to get it.
Yeah.
I'm mainly talking to myself.
Yeah. That's me too. I only brought like one thing to talk about tonight officially. I have a bone to pick with probably younger Gen X like myself and mostly millennials. Like, I'm going to ask you, as a Gen Z, you have a daughter. I'm not gonna ask you. I'm not gonna have you tell your daughter's name online, but on the show. But your daughter's name is spelled normally, right?
I believe so.
My bone to pick is with people that spell their kids' names like, and I'm not talking about people that have like unique names. Like, that's okay. Add some new. We've had a lot of the same names for a couple hundred years now. Like, it's okay. Throw some new ones in there. That's how we evolve as language and stuff. But the people that take like regular names and then just do all these crazy spellings with them, it's like they take like a normal name and their name just looks like they took Scrabble letters and just threw them on the board. Like, how the hell am I supposed to know what that is? And the reason I bring this up is because of my day job. I work as a screen printer / graphic designer. We do a lot of stuff for the local school systems. And a lot of the shirts that they'll make will have, like, they'll do like a school play or something, or they'll have like a school play or like some kind of function at school. And then they'll put all the kids' names on the back that are, involved with whatever it is we're doing shirts for. And I look at these freaking names, man, and it's like, I feel like I have dyslexia reading these names, and inevitably every single time, at least once a week, you get some angry soccer mom calls the shop and is like, "You spelled my kid's name wrong." And well, what's your kid's name? And you look at it, something like Jeffrey, and there's two different, there's like the American spelling, Jeffrey, or you could even go with the European spelling. It's Geoffrey. Either of those are fine. Both of those I know says Jeffrey. But you'll have this kid whose name is Jeffrey, and it's spelled like Geopreye. Why? Why are you doing this to your kid? It doesn't matter.
Well, first of all, Jason, you are dyslexic, so let's get that out of the way. You're fucking dumb. So let's say that. Yeah, my response would be, actually, no, you spelled your son's name wrong. I didn't do anything.
I never thought of that. Like, well, you spelled your kid's name wrong. It's not on me.
Yeah, we've had the name Jeffrey for millennia.
Yeah, for like at least 1,000 years.
And you decided that you were special enough to say, like, I wonder if like nurses in the hospital, if they even care anymore at this point, or if they just roll their eyes. Because I know some people, like, you're obligated to tell them, hey, is this a typo or not?
Mm-hmm.
Like when they write on the birth certificate what the name's going to be. Like, you have to make sure that's fucking legit, because that's going to be the kid's name forever. Like, I wonder if you spell Jeffrey like that and they're like, hey, are you fucking dumb or what?
But yeah, it always happens. We're always misspelling some kid's name, and you know what? It's never like the dad. You never hear a dad call the shop.
No,
it's like, you spelled my kid. It's always the mom. And I'm like, and first off, you're right, Jayckoub. That's the perfect comeback. Is like, you spelled your kid's name wrong. Two, who the fuck is reading the back of a shirt? Nobody besides you and your kids are going to be reading the back of these shirts, and you're probably only going to wear them like one time. So what's the difference? What's the big... He knows that's his name, or that that's their name. It's not like the shirt's going to be like hanging up in the Louvre or something. It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, never in my life have I ever seen like a 40-year-old bitchy white lady climb out of a Subaru with a t-shirt on that has 50 kids' names on the back. And I go, ma'am, please, you have to stop and turn around for 10 minutes while I read the back of your shirt and slowly move my lips, because I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I want to sit here and read off this list of 50 names of people I have no clue who they are on the back of your shirt. Who does that?
Is your son Calvin with a Q? Is that your boy?
It's like they'll take the name Jayckoub, and it's like JaikyObe. Like, yeah. What? What am I reading?
Yeah, dude. And what's funny is that, like, when I was in grade school, everyone like shunned any Jayckoub whose name was K instead of C. Like that one little simple thing. Like, that's why I was the superior Jayckoub for a lot of my schooling, because one of the other, like the other Jayckoub I was always in a class with spelled his name with a K. So I was like, I'm actually Jayckoub. You can go by some other dumb fucking name. Because on the first day, they always go, okay, who's going to be called Jake and who's going to be called Jayckoub? Like, I'm Jayckoub, cocksucker. You've already got the K staked fucking claim for Jake, buddy.
Because all you're doing is making it harder for your kid to learn how to spell his name or her name when you give all these crazy spellings. Because we live in a world where 90% of our communication is through language, like just talking. Like, who gives a shit how something is if you have a different spelling for the name? Like, who cares if their name is spelled differently? It does. Like, what? what does it do? Like, just explain to me. Like, what difference does it make for a human being to have a name that's just spelled all fucked up?
It makes them special.
Your kids are not special. You're not special. Kids aren't special. I have a whole bit about this. If you want to hear it, go watch me do stand-up.
Yeah. I mean, and I would argue that it doesn't make it harder to just spell their name. It makes it harder for them to spell anything ever because they're going to grow up in a household where they think spelling is subjective.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not. There's a right way to spell anything. It doesn't matter if I know what you're trying to say. It matters if you fucking spell it correctly.
Yeah.
50 years from now, we're going to have people writing thesis papers where it's just like red squiggly lines all over that motherfucker.
You know what it is? Everything's just going to be spelled phonetically from now on.
Yeah. I mean, why? To be fair, we may be the dumb ones here.
Maybe.
Why isn't everything already just spelled phonetically?
I don't know.
Because that, everyone always says like, oh, because it's from the Latin for whatever. No one speaks Latin
Well,
anymore.
I mean, if you look at the trend, Americans are getting way dumber. So we might be spelling things phonetically within the next 10 to 15 years.
We are getting way dumber, and that should be Dumer.
Yeah.
But it's fucking not. There's no reason for it to not be dumber.
It'll be Duemnuer. Dumber.
Dumner. We're getting dumber. This episode was pretty dumber.
Yeah, it was.
But man, I think we're pretty much ready to get out of here, man.
Yeah, we are. It's a host episode, so these are a little shorter. You guys know that. So but that's about all I got for this week. That really made me mad the other day, and I was fired up. If we would have recorded this podcast at like noon yesterday, it would have been a fiery one because I was fucking pissed off about it at work.
The next time that happens, call me so I can record it and play it on the show.
It's inevitable. It happens all. It happens all the time, and I just don't get it. Like, I just don't understand people. I just don't get people. I don't get them at all.
Yeah. See, and this is the difference between the professions that we've chosen, because you get mad at entitled people who spell things wrong. Like, I get mad because a kid won't just fucking eat food to survive. Like, dude, just put it down your fucking throat. It's pizza. You like pizza.
Well, I don't know. I'm getting pretty tired of dealing with entitled people on a daily basis.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's probably any profession, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like we said earlier, like, I mean, if you were the nurse working in the fucking ER or whatever, then you'd have to be the one writing that down for the first time and you'd have to keep a straight face and just go, okay, is this spelled correctly?
That's why I could never be a nurse, because if I was working in the what do they call it? The OBGYN, where they deliver kids and stuff.
Yeah.
If I was working in there and I had people trying to like do weird spellings of their kids' names, I would just look at them. I would look straight at people and be like, "That's fucking stupid."
Yeah.
Just name him. I'm just gonna write Ted. Ted. That's what his name is. But no, we want it to be Hunter, but we want it to be spelled Houndtiere. I'm like, Phil. Phil. That's his name from now on.
That's a better name. We're regressing so much as a society. I feel like people are just gonna start like naming kids band names again.
Yeah.
Because they have like a list of band names. Like, you can't name your kid Hitler. You can't name your kid I think they banned A B C D E F because someone tried to name their kid that.
Yeah, but
there's
if you
just
look
no
at
way to pronounce
Elon
it.
Musk, like his kids' names have like numbers in them and shit. Like, what?
No, they didn't let him do it. You can't do it. You can't put a number in a fucking kid's name.
Bunch of fucking George Costanzas running around. I want to name my kid 7. Well, I don't know. That's all I got to say about that. Are you ready to go ahead and get out of here for this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. If you want to email us at openmicerspodcast@gmail.com. Openmicers.com is our website. And you can go to Linktr.ee/OpenMicersPodcast. Takes you everywhere you need to go. All the socials, especially to our Patreon. If you want to be a Patreon supporter, we do extra episodes for the patrons every single month. We got a good one coming up where me and Jayckoub are going to drink some weird sodas. So we're going to do that soon. But we love you guys, and we'll see you right here next week.
My daughter's name is Jayckoub Jr.
Spelled, how would you spell junior? GUIANMIZR3.
Yeah, prayer hands emoji.
Yeah, prayer hands. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all for watching on YouTube. We'll see all of you next week.